Line unmuted.
Namaste, beloved ones. Hey, welcome to Soul Mirrors. Be amazed. I am Kira Ra, and I am sincerely delighted and filled with so much love to be here with you this evening, live back at my beautiful Tosa Blue Mountain. I want to give a shout out to all of you that are here on site with Shri and I right now. We are just on the other side of our extraordinary New Year's event and really honored to be here with you. You know, I want to first and foremost, before we go any further this evening, I want to give a big shout out to Jess Juntanen. Hey, Jess. Awesome. I know while I was gone, Jess just flawlessly kept this show rolling with some amazing guests. And I was catching that show overseas. And sincerely, thank you, Jess, for keeping this show moving and for being such an extraordinary co-host. And as we had mentioned, kind of as a preview of coming attractions during our last live show when I was back in November was my last live show with Soul Mirrors. Jess is now a monthly regular co-host with me once a month. And what a wonderful way to begin 2020, right? Perfect balance. And so this is just an extraordinary moment. And as my heart connects with your heart this evening, there is so much divine healing ahead. You know, 2020 is a year of divine healing. And this divine healing is flying in on the wings of this dragonfly energy. And one of the gifts of this dragonfly energy is that we are all experiencing profound shift. And with that, we're having this visionary transformation. It's a time to awaken our self-ascension. And tonight I have a co-host that's going to really has been down this rabbit hole for a while and has a lot to share. And before we go any further, let me just also share that, hey, Namaste, tfrlive.com, where we are streaming on audio. We love you. We are so happy to be back live right here in 2020. Namaste over at onenesstalkradio.com, where you can catch us on video. You can catch us on audio. There's live chat going on over there. And of course, we are streaming at 2 YouTube stations. You can catch us over at YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio, or over at YouTube, Official Shri and Kira. And I know there's always chat going on in both of those areas as well. Plus, if you prefer Facebook, you're probably tuning in with us right now over at the Oneness Talk Radio Facebook channel. And to all the affiliates out there, including iHeartRadio, thank you for supporting Soul Mirrors, because together we are better, and indeed we are amazed. So let me come back right into the new year. Hey, how was your year, right? How was your year? You know, I normally open the show by saying, hey, how was your week? How's your week been? But the question has really been, we are here now, and how has that past year been that has really said, I am here, I am ready, I am open, and invited all of us to be guided into this year. I know during our New Year celebration last evening, we had a profound ensoulment come in. And if you'd like to catch that, you can watch the rebroadcast right over at YouTube, Official Shri and Kira. And one of the gifts of waking up New Year's Day yesterday was the opportunity to recognize that we are in a moment of this divine convergence. So as I was starting to mention right at the top of the hour, this dragonfly energy of this year of divine healing, I mean, take in that this is a year of divine healing, and it's happening during mastery experience. So with that profound shift, we are also at a moment where we are not only expanding our visionary transformation, we are actually doing it through timeline adaptation. And as that awakens the self-ascended presence within all of us, it offers us the unique experience of finally being who we are and being ready to support each other together. Now, this is why bringing together every week here on Soul Mirrors, all of these amazing masters and having the blessing of mirroring each other during the hour that we're on this show, this is why it has become such a gift to come together with you every week like this, because we are building this community of support, and this community of support is flourishing in ways that are just extraordinary. I mean, really extraordinary. And speaking of community of support, I'm watching the call board fill up. If you want to still jump in, 517-208-1500. Again, that's 517-208-1500. You do get to listen to the show while you are on hold, and you can call in to say hi to me, to my co-host, who I'm going to be introducing in just a moment. Ask for a mini soul reading, whatever the new year is holding for you in your heart. We're just glad you're joining us here. And yeah, I'm watching those lines fill. So you want to go ahead and jump in, 517-208-1500. So my angels, bring a hand to your heart and take in a breath while I'm going to have a little drink of water. Excuse me. And one of the things that is really calling right now is this moment where the body, the physical body, is in this sacred union opportunity with its true soul essence. Now, that does not mean that we're saying goodbye to emotional bodies or any of these other bodies. What I'm really sharing with you is this is about the sacred union of the illuminated and the illuminator. It is the recognition that the synergy between these two beautiful energies is the foundation of our ascended being. It is how we begin reverse aging. It is how we are able to sustain a much higher frequency without the body breaking down. And there are things that we have been doing for many, many years. There are things that have been happening on this planet since it has been, since we have any conception of the conception. And yet, we are at a moment where the awakening of the illuminator, the presence within, the true awakening of that in partnership with the form, is that sacred union sustenance that holds us together, that is calling forward this rise in consciousness. I know that our planet is at a moment where so many, I get so many phone calls and so many people asking for guidance, and they're afraid or they're angry and they can't get out of their judgment. That's all part of the dance. Noticing that, looking at that is part of the dance. So the question is, what are you dancing with? And so in this moment, if you can return right here to you and honor all of this together, the consciousness opportunity that has opened in 2020 is unlike any that has been on this planet before. We are at the moment of a new turn, of an opportunity, a rare, unique breath that is being offered to all of us in 2020. And it's just as easy as saying yes and saying, I will be here. I am that. And not to shirk from that which we are. And it brings me full circle into the moment that is at hand, because the moment at hand is reaching out to you as this beautiful month of January begins, and it's an experience month inside of a year of mastery experience inside this energy of divine healing. And so what is right in front of you right now? And how is your heart responding to it? And are you hearing the divine voice within that is saying, let me have a greater opportunity to share, so that this part that's having the interaction, the densified body that's having all of this interaction and all these things that are happening, let me come forward more. And as you do, I will trust you, beloved body, more. And together we can do this. Versus attaining levels of consciousness that this is what would put people into the caves. This is why the body would drop, because we have not had the ability to sustain this high of a frequency while still carrying form ever before. And that's why we are all being gifted with this ascended frequency if we just say yes to it. And so, of course, knowing that this is 2020 and knowing that this profound shift and this visionary transformation and timeline adaptation as we awaken our self-ascension was the energy coming forward. for all of us in this moment of this collective, extraordinary, illusionary dance, there was only one person I would want to return to the air with. And that is someone that I have had the honor of knowing for many, many years now. And that is tonight's very special co-host, Vid Raphael. And if you get our e-card, and I hope you do, you read all about David and about all of the amazing things that this man has put together. I mean, he is just a plethora of bringing work out to the world. And I mean, really important work. This is somebody who has really put his life where it is. And as you know, that's who I feature on Soul Mirrors, those of us that have been walking authenticity before the word authenticity even became known. and what's so fabulous about David is that he has that unique background. You know, he is a medical doctor, he is an MD, and he carries this high frequency of consciousness and awareness. And through that unique blend of true genius and inspiration, he weaves this beautiful process together and has been talking about and promoting things that are now seeming new, yet he has been had out there in front of there for all of us since the 70s. And I personally met him for the first time when my husband Sri Ramka and I produced the 2012 Quantum Leap event in California. And that was such an extraordinary, groundbreaking event then, you know, and that was in 2010, I believe, when we had that program published and put out that platform. And through that time, what my heart has witnessed are those who have never said stop. The ones who, no matter what, have kept going, have kept moving, have kept saying yes, and that put out this consistent wisdom and illumination that has been offering all of us this beautiful community framework to come together. And so before we go any further this evening, I want to go ahead and bring in my beautiful co-host. He'll be with us in just a moment. I'm welcoming him into the show right now. And there we are. All right. Hey, namaste, David. Welcome. Welcome. Namaste.
Well, what an intro, my God. But it's all true.
I know. I can verify it's all true. I agree. I agree. And hey, it is just such a joy to see you and welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you. Wow, it is an amazing time, 2020. You know, the real program is planetary liberation and freedom. And of course, you and I and people, we're all into the big time violet flame and the Saint Germain energies to transform and transmute personal and collective. So as the veils get lifted, guess what? We come into the eternal here and now. And that's where, as I say, all the power that ever was or will be is here now. And you can supplement that with all the wisdom, all the love, all the beauty. And also, I would have to say all the ignorance that ever was or will be is here now.
That's the soul mirror, is it not? I love it. I love it. Well, you know, that is just such a beautiful way to open tonight's conversation. And I am just really experiencing, as you're sharing that, I already feel the violet ray experience around us. Of course, that's always here. You know, this is, as you just mentioned, you know, the eternal here and now. This is already done, has already happened. And what brings my heart so much joy is that we are all coming back together right now with a recognition of this unified presence and the profound shift that can do, that can bring forward. And I know in your work, you have been committed for so long to really the evolutionary leap of mankind's health and how we are working with each other. And where has that brought you to this moment? I mean, how is your tribe working through this right now?
Well, you know, the foundation of my work was set up through San Francisco Medical Research Foundation, which was actually the energy that created the Light Party, which was originally the Human Ecology Party. I had that awareness way back when as an MD that the focus was in the wrong direction. The allopathic model I knew was seriously flawed. And I also knew at the time we had a really long journey to basically re-educate people because of the entrenched economic interest. We don't have a health model, we have a disease model, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I came to the understanding, I always said that I was a naturopath trapped in a allopathic world.
Mm.
And I mean, I am a big nature lover. And of course, a lot of what I have to say is talk about reconnecting to the earth, earthing, lots of water, chiropractor, conscious breathing. I mean, today, amazingly enough, I got out to the ocean today. I got a little, and I, at Point Reyes, which is a place, and the ocean was just ripping, you know, just like power, you know, and you stand in that power and you go, how, and you breathe and you see the creation. How could you not be in awe of that creation and realize that we are the creator created. We are the creator, the creator. So that creates a relationship between acknowledging the creator, but the creator is empowering us to be conscious co-creators. And that's the spiritual awakening. I always say the one becomes the few, becomes the many, becomes the all. So in time, we will see a planet where there will be billions of people not wearing malas, who are fully enlightened, who carry what I call the Christ, the Buddha Christ consciousness. And that will play out in so many different fields, education, tremendous scientific breakthroughs. There's a very important statement in the book of Revelations, which is where we're going, is it says in time there'll be no more pain, nor sorrow, nor suffering, nor death, for all these things shall pass away. That's a really profound statement. And for you, it means that we get fully grounded in the fifth dimension and beyond, and then we're no longer subject to entropy. Because the body, what is the body? You know what the body, it's a thought form.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, you know, I've got to jump in because I love how you're just diving right into the experience of all of this too, because this is very much the moment that we're in, is this moment of experience. And, you know, I do want to share that since actually, and it's been a wild journey. And I'm sure that David, you've had to go through this, that like, I love how you were talking about being in the power of the ocean today, and the way that beautiful blessing of receiving what Gaia can demonstrate, what she can show to us at any time. Yeah, it's one of the things I feel, I pinch myself every day that I live here in the Andes Mountains in Ecuador, because it's very much the same experience. And I mean, we have caves. I have people here right now that were sharing with me earlier today. They're like, when I sat in your cave, I never realized the light that came out of the mountain, you know? So that experience, that oneness. But where I wanted to go with you in this moment, as you were sharing, what hit me so really profoundly is this: we are at the moment, David, where I know when I first met you in 2010, I wasn't there then, but I am there now. And that is that I am 100% anchored in the seventh dimension now. And I am finding, I have these conversations with small groups here all the time. I am still going through the physical release of what that really takes. And yet my body, I've released 45 pounds in the past, 45 days. Whoa. And yeah, and no, because it's just been such a anchoring. And there is just, I find it's much easier to live on breath. Yeah, it's much easier to be able to hear. I giggle that I always feel like I have 5 computer screens up in front of me at once, because I'm literally working on like 5 books at once, because you have information coming in at so many levels. And so how does that work with you? Have you had that experience as well? Are you aware of that? Or I'm just curious.
Well, Jesus. Well, I live a very creative life.
Yes, and, you do.
I have a deal I'm sharing, and I've shared it with Monica. Here's the deal I have with the universe. Okay. The universe, God, continue to inspire, delight, heal, and enlighten me, so I may continue to inspire, delight, heal, and enlighten others. That's the deal that I've got with you. And you know what? It's happening 20. So I'm continually being inspired, particularly in terms of information or music or ideas or whatever. So we have, you know, and Za, of course, you know, Za, over the years, we built a tremendous email network. We were doing planetary service announcements that were going out consistently to over 800,000 people all over the world. Now, here's the good news. I'm sure we are about light workers, and people are doing great things are about to really be super financially supported now. So what I think is going to happen is a tremendous exponential expansion of consciousness of the good. But my background is Hermetic Kabbalism. And there's 10 statements on the tree of life, and the End Star 4 is called the limitless life. But number one, this is a good one, how the Kabbalist in this particular tradition defines God as the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Primal will to good. So, and I know you understand this. What we're really part and parcel of is a super empowerment program. The one, the self. If you put yourself as the all, the one, which you are on some level, the only thing you will do, can do, and will ever do is to empower every part of yourself to become more conscious, more aware, more creative. So you're going to see this exponential geometric expansion of consciousness that plays out as tremendous levels of creativity. And then we move into the Namaste world. Namaste, the oneness, and everybody knows what's up. There's a great book I read years ago called The Game of God. And it was a great statement was it puts things in God, Brahma, which is in Hindu is God, right? Brahma goes unconscious for the fun of waking up.
Yes. Yes.
So it is a Leela. It is a Leela. And in
Absolutely.
that comes the forgiveness.
Right.
But there comes a certain point where we're so in the present time and we look forward with confidence to the perfect realization of the eternal splendor of the limitless life.
I love it. How can you not love that, right? I mean, I'm loving this. Well, you know,
We're looking forward. We're looking forward. We're not going back. We're looking forward because the
yeah,
self
exactly.
is infinite love. It's infinite
Right.
wisdom and infinite power. So
Yes.
nothing can really come against that. It's like that's why I go to the ocean. Not that I have the power of the Tao of the ocean. Who can, good luck. You want to be in resistance to that power, you're going to get smacked. You got to let go, what I'm saying? So it's a matter of aligning with that energy and surrendering to that energy. And in that surrender, you become super empowered, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's something that you've obviously done. So talk to us. I mean, were you born like this? I mean, how did this happen? How did this gorgeous,
Oh my God.
beautiful, wisdom-filled being come to be?
Well, that's a good, well, I was brought up on a beach,
Okay.
Long Island, and I was already a yogi, and I didn't know, I used to sit on the sand dunes for hours and just watch the ocean.
Yeah.
My parents would leave me out on the beach, and of course I love swimming. I would hang out because I had the original name of Dolph. I would hang out in the water for hours swimming. So and of course as a Cancerian, I had this tremendous connection, the water, the Divine Mother. I fast forwarded. I got into I was doing an internship I was a medical doctor in Scotland. It's quite a story. Anyhow, I had wound up in San Francisco. I was all set to become an orthopedic surgeon, and lots of things happened when I came to San Francisco. You can kind of know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So I went through the whole heavy duty, light duty psychedelic revolution at the tail end of the 60s. And I was with an amazing woman who was my guide, and I had great fun. And literally, my whole life was turned inside out, upside down, and backward in a good way. But I wrote a book. I was doing a psychiatric residency, and I was completely like, everything here is so ass backward. So I was in a psych residency, and they were doing all kinds of heavy duty experiments, prefrontal lobotomies. I thought I was in Nazi Germany. I said, I have got to get out of this. I got to get out of this place. It was Langley Porter, which is the big psychiatric institution, part of the University of San Francisco, California. And I was going through my hippie stage big time. And I was saying, let's get all these inmates, including the doctors, out into Golden Gate Park, into nature. Because I was in this environment that was so toxic. And so you had people in psychotic breaks, loaded up with it was hell, And I was like freaking out here because I was already getting very sensitive to energy. And I used to bolt out of there and get out because it was and I realized I was in an insane asylum and that the doctors are just as insane as the patients. So, one who flew over the coop. So anyway.
No, they would have to be. They would have to be.
Yeah, the energy was so awful. And they were doing all this experimenting, working with drugs to try to change people's minds and all kinds of stuff. So through the grace of God, I didn't have any debt. And which a lot of doctors, when they come out of, they do their internship and then they do their residence, they're up to their eyeballs in debt.
Right.
So they have to stay within the system. I was a free spirit, and I started San Francisco Medical Research Foundation in the 70s. And at that time, Ayla said, write a book about what's going on. And that I was also right in the mix of I was learning about acupuncture. I was studying with a guy named Stephen Chang, who was a real Taoist. I had helped him get his book published. I had not seen Stephen for 20 or 30 years. And I saw him, we connected. And the guy he still looked like he was in his 20s. So, he was a real Taoist, and he was into the energy and the whole thing and the herbs. So I morphed into my artistic side, opened up, and I became the artist in me began to fly. Plus, at that time, there was a lot of experimentation going on, if you know what I mean. So
I do.
On every level, it was a real hotbed of San Francisco. The gurus were there, the Eastern influence. Everybody's running off to India for enlightenment, and so on and so forth. So I was right in the middle of all this, and I was this, in quotes, pretty straight kid from the East Coast, except I wasn't straight for long. And we started doing all these beautiful music festivals. So my whole thing started getting into understanding the power of music and imagery for the healing and transformation. We were the first one through my foundation that came out with the first New Age music catalog. And we started doing festivals, beautiful festival. We were like being paralleled by Bill Graham, who was doing all the heavy rock and the heavy metal. And we were magnetizing these incredible New Age musicians. You know who Deuter is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we started doing these festivals, et cetera, et cetera. And then I had the big vision after we did a festival up on do you know Marin County?
I do. Yeah.
Mount Tam, of course, right? Mount Tam.
Yeah.
We did this amazing called the Celestial Healing Experience up on Mount Tam. And after it was over, we had great artists and dancers. It was a real kind of a continuation of the whole hippie thing. But it was a beautiful. So my buddy and I, Michael, we were sitting out on the rock looking over the Bay Area, and that's when I got the vision for Alcatraz, which
I know all about that. I love that project. I love that project.
We just integrated within the light party, and I just reworked the whole thing. We call it a vision for the ages. All things being equal, we will bring it back onto the ballot. And this is a metaphor from turning the metaphor of a prison planet to a planet of celebration and healing. So I've been blessed with connecting with the greatest musicians, sound musicians, space musicians, et cetera, et cetera. But we've archived all this stuff. So when people actually tap into the light party, people today understanding or appreciation of music, because today you can listen, everything is available. But I've been kind of like keeping archiving the best of the best of the best, and the best artists and the visionary. So when people actually go on to the Alcatraz conversion, not only going to see this tremendous vision, they're going to be exposed to all this incredible music.
So David, give us the websites. So give me
Alcatraz. We call it a vision for it's the Alcatraz Conversion Project.org. So you can help empower them. My goal is to get it on the ballot. Once it hits the ballot, it's going to become a local, national, international story, because people are going to understand what it represents. The change is here. Because right now, all it is an old, decrepit concentration camp, and it's making money for the city. They get 1 million people there. And hey, that's where Al Capone was, and Machine Gun Kelly and all this kind of stuff. So we're saying this is sitting right in the center of, right in the center of San Francisco Meta. It's an amazing spot. So let's turn it into something really amazing and beautiful and inspirational.
Well, and you started this project. I mean, this is one of those that has really been building. I mean,
78. Well, it went on, I put it on the back burner, but I stepped away from it. You'll get a kick out of this in terms of being on purpose. I stepped away from the thing, and I went to this event in Sausalito on purpose. And it was all about focusing people, getting people to focus on what they really, really, what was their passion, what was their heart desire. It was a 3-day process. After it was over, this is it's a true story. After it was over, we were all sitting up in this beautiful chalet, Sausalito? Are you familiar with Sausalito?
Do. Yeah.
It was way up there in the hills and looking down into the bay. Well, we don't get very often, we don't get thunderstorms and lightning. Honest to God. So here we were, and I just, sharing with the group, sitting, So the greatest thing I'd like to do is transform Alcatraz into a global peace and creative arts center. So that night, there were all these heavy duty thunderstorms and lightning storms. And we were watching, looking out on the bay, because it was very dramatic. And there was at least 10, 15 lightning bolts right smack on Alcatraz.
I love that story.
So
That is a
talk
great
about
story.
a message from wherever, right? From the universe.
Hey, I love when they're tangible, and hold that for a minute, because I just want to give a big shout out and a welcome to TFR Live. Hey, welcome back. I know you guys have been out on a couple-minute commercial break. We are delighted to be back here with you here at Soul Mirrors Be Amazed. I am Kira Ra, and I am here with my extraordinary co-host, Vid Raphael, who has just been sharing with us about the Alcatraz Conversion Project. And am I getting that? Is it alcatrazconversionproject.org? Was that right?
That's it. That's correct.
All
Yeah.
right, you guys have to check this out, because it really is just an
Tremendous
extraordinary vision. Yeah, it's an
tremendous
extraordinary vision. So, I'm looking at our phone bank over here, David, and we have so many people that have been waiting to say hello. So are you okay if we go to the phone lines?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phone lines and welcome some people. So we're going to go right here. We're going to start in Puerto Rico. Hey, Puerto Rico. Hello, namaste.
Hello, namaste, Kira, and my beloved friend David. We just happened to have a numerology reading. I just did it for David today.
Wow.
Kind of synchronized at the same day. We were going to do it for a week, and then so it was amazing. And basically, I can confirm that I also lost a considerable amount of weight. I've been also going to the ocean daily. And the expansion of the energy is amazing. But I have been experiencing like a vertigo. So can you give and it's amazing because it's not like I can go dancing and they can spin me around and it doesn't bother me. It makes me even more grounded. I can go to the ocean, doesn't matter how the waves up are big. That would usually before it would make me dizzy, but it doesn't anymore. It makes me more grounded. But when I lie down and turn around a little bit, that's when it gets a little dizzy. So could you give me some advice there?
Well, sweetheart, first of all, I'm going to just jump in and share with you that this is part of that union with the body and the spirit. I see two things happening. I think I see something very much happening in your physical body. However, I also see very clearly that you are at a moment of choice. Like in front of you is this, like, can you really breathe in all of this? Can you really say yes to everything that's in front of you right now? It's almost like when you lay down, it's almost like like you're startling yourself with this energy. And so the message that I keep hearing for you, just coming in on a spiritual level, is very much about relax more and say yes to you, and allow everything that's coming in to really anchor, because you're doing a really great job. But there is just this moment of like a doubting hesitancy. And David, did you see it? Want to share anything?
In regards to what?
To what she would, what our beautiful caller was saying. Did you want to share anything?
Well, I think you're on track. I think it's the challenge, particularly if people are really at a high level, is to ground this energy in through the body.
Yeah.
And it's like our body's having to catch up with our frequency, so to speak.
Exactly.
Because a lot of us have come in from the higher dimensional planes, and the work is to bring it. The program's called Heaven on Earth. The Earth is the body. Right. And
So
this is an incredible creation. I mean, our bodies are the resultant of literally billions of years of evolution. I'm talking about the body, of course, our spirit is pre-existent. But when I'm talking as an MD, when you really study the human body, it is such an incredible creation. And now we're learning how to master it so that we can ultimately no longer have diseases, and the body becomes this perfected gem in the universe, becomes this radiant light being, and that's what, the Ascension is about. And that was, Jesus was, whether you believe, however, the prototype of the human potentiality that's inherent in divine potential of every human being. As it said, you know, whatever things I have done, even greater things you shall do.
Right.
So, you know, it's all there in the Bible, because there's lots of other stuff in the Bible which we won't talk about, true, partially true. But the possible, because we are connected to this I am presence, which is infinite love, which is infinite wisdom, infinite power. You know what my definition of wisdom is, you know, I have 3 points. Wisdom essentially is knowing what to do next.
I love it. I love it. And so, my angel, I think that you know what to do next now. And thank you for calling in. We love you so much. Thank you, sweetheart. Namaste.
I love you both. Namaste.
Namaste, angel. Namaste.
So
Oh,
there's a whole mystery, you see, there's a whole, see, you know, part of our mind, there's a mystery to, you know, because in the Native American world, it's called the Great Mystery. So
Right.
there's a part of, because it's like trying to figure yourself out. Well, good luck. It's like trying to figure out God. You know, I only joke. I say there's only one thing more mysterious than God. You know what that is? It's a woman.
Okay.
So, you know, it's beyond figuring it out. But if you are conscious or aware and you just study and you look into nature, by the way, after this, I'm going to an incredible movie called Fantastic Fungi. Have you heard about this movie?
I have not heard about this movie. Tell me about this movie.
Oh, well, it's a tremendous documentary on all the healing power of the mushroom. I'm not talking necessarily about the psychedelic, all the medicine, which is coming out big time now. And the mushroom kingdom is incredible because it's all like embodied.
Tell me the name of it again. Tell me the name of the movie.
The movie's called Fantastic Fungi. It's a movie that just came out. Friends of mine saw it, of course. I'm very in, but just from the medicinal side of the mushroom.
Right.
The other thing that's happening now are the microdosings of psilocybin. Now, it's not to have a big full-blown psychedelic experience. They're showing that at, you know, like 100 milligram, it's powerful for people who have anxiety and depression. You know, the therapeutic values, and this is coming full steam. It's finally coming because it was always considered the dark forces did not want people to explore their own consciousness. They don't want people to be healed. They want to be able to control people and keep people on their awful drugs.
I've got to jump in here because you are so on target with this. And, you know, one of the things that I often really am aware of with deep, deep awareness is that our generation, I'm at one end of it, and all of us, the boomers especially, we started something and we got off track. And even we got way off track, and I just feel that those of us that have never stopped, that those of us that are proving what we've been talking about for years, that have actually lived long enough, are still here and are ready to say, hey, I believe that we are at a full circle moment. I really do. And I believe that we are exactly at that full circle moment. And only we have this unique opportunity to bring mentorship and bridge that circle and initiate this again with a planetary vibration that can understand it. You have always been ahead of your time. I was ahead of my time. Sri was ahead. A lot of us have been, but the key is that we kept on doing it. We were consistent. We stayed in our authenticity. And now, because of the control and because of within a generation, personal freedom will be something that people read about in books. And so if we don't step forward now, this is the moment where I believe that we can amplify everything that we have been trying to do. I mean, I think it's important to put the voice of positivity out there.
Absolutely.
When the voice of negativity is getting a lot of press.
Oh yeah, big time. So when I talk about the light part, I talk about the power of synergy.
Right.
And it doesn't take many, and this is what you're doing, through pure intent and focus.
Exactly.
The mathematics of synergy, it does not take a lot of people to absolutely transform consciousness. And of course, the dark side, their whole thing was to keep people separated.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But the reality is, oneness is reality. So we've been in this heavy denial game of pretending that, you know, I mean, I love the Moody Blues. We're living in a land of make-believe, trying to let it show. The veils get lifted. And what happens is we're just back to where it was. It's the Mobius strip turning on itself. And of course, we're coming into the Aquarian age, and each age is 2300. But it's even beyond the Aquarian age. It's the color. It's the Satya Yuga, golden age.
Right.
And all the masters now talk about the seventh golden age.
Mm-hmm.
And Saint Germain holds that, the seventh root race. So we're coming into a world, into a time. I actually have a statement here that I wrote called On Prophecy, the Future's Happening Now. Can I read this one
Please.
section?
Oh, please.
I mean, I said, this is an article. It's one of the best things I've ever written. I wrote this in 1994. I'm just reading the summary of it.
Okay.
Talk about the difference. We shall come to know that our limits are limitless as the light of pure reason shines within and without, dissolving and evaporating the shadows and the illusions of our collective, in quotes, past, leading us onward, inward, and upward into their heretofore unimagined realms of pure experience. We're awakening to our true selves as sons and daughters of the Most High, as children of the light, empowered by this light to live a life of freedom, love, and joy, consciously co-creating and manifesting a life here on earth which reflects the wisdom, love, and intelligence of our Creator. Through the agency of grace, which I had called the spirit of guidance and education, we, the collective and individualized embodiment of this one reality, partake of this reality as sacred divinity. We're now experiencing a progressive transformation of consciousness, which is leading us inexorably to a time where there shall be no more death, no sorrow, no crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. The keys to our collective liberation, our ascension, our faith and applied knowledge, along with the determination and forbearance to follow our intuitions and inspirations. Now is the time to create our ascension into a golden age, a new epoch, a new world where peace, health, and freedom for all is. Amen, Selah, Alleluia. Ankle lock and seal, Vid Raphael, founder of the Light Torch. So that was something I wrote.
What a gift. Thank you for that gift. Wow. I'm just like, wow. Thank you for that gift. Yeah, I love that. Well, let's run to the phone lines because they are like, we have every line full.
Yeah,
let's
thank you for opening the space for me to share.
Oh, are you kidding me? I love it. Are you kidding? It's awesome. Oh, well, thank you. I'm grateful. All right, let's go. We're jumping in. All right, we're going to go to, it looks like we're going to Washington, D.C. Hey, Washington, D.C. Namaste. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi, it's great to hear the show again and hear from everyone's perspective. I was kind of hearing in and out. But I'm interested in getting a soul reading just to see, what's going on with me right now. If any tips or anything that I can take in from my ancestors, from my spirit guides, anything of nature.
Well, Crystal, I think it's interesting that you came into the conversation right now, especially in light of the message that David just offered, which really ties into what's going on with you right now. As I'm gazing at you, there's this, I want to describe it as like a cosmic wind that's really spinning around you right now. And you keep looking around. It's like you're looking at the wind rather than standing in the middle and allowing the wind to guide you. And all I keep hearing is, relax, my sister. It's right in front of you. Bring your hands to your heart. Let your breath be gentle, and the wind will guide you. And that's the message that is yours to be heard tonight. And I'm really honored to share it with you. Thank you so much for bringing that gift to all of us, Crystal. Many blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Namaste. Namaste. Whew, David, I'm still, it's funny, as Crystal was sharing, I was still in your sharing. And so I always find it very fascinating the way that this oneness weaves itself. You know, it's the conversation will always find a way to raise the consciousness of all. And that every time we come together, I use the words sincerity, love, and presence, you know,
Yeah.
very much what you were saying with that clarity and that focus. That's really earlier, oh, goodness gracious, about a month ago, one of the inspirations that Archangel Zadkiel through Saint Germain, I also had a very extraordinary connection with some other ascended masters. They said it's time for all of us, you know, or to really open the mind more, to expand the vision broader, to ignite our hearts with greater capacity. And together, that's how we can heal the world. And when I listen to what you're sharing, that feels very affirmative to me. It feels very healing and affirmative and life promoting. And so I thank you for that again.
Well, you know, one of the things we've done, I
Mhm.
just finished our penultimate work, which is very much guided by Raphael, which is somebody. I don't. I'm gonna just bear. I've got a. One moment. Hello,
Hey guys, this is the first on the show, isn't it?
Gordon. I have to. I'm in the middle. I'll call you back.
Okay.
Anyway, so I just finished a piece called
Hey.
the Cosmic Christmas Celebration.
Okay.
Now, what you did the other day, which was great, it was very intuitive. We showed that video, right? And love, love.
I love the
Expansion.
video. Yeah. So he's talking about, guys, he is talking about the video for all of you that tuned in with us New Year's Eve. This is David who produced this video.
So
this is
the law of the universe is what you
Yeah.
believe, what you truly believe in your heart of hearts. So then the universe has to outpicture that. Now, people do affirmations all the time, but what makes this so powerful is that there's a tremendous energy, emotional input because of the music and the sacred geometry. And it's like, I joke, I said, it's like, you know, Moses coming down from Mount Sinai. I got that whole inspiration, and that's when walking in the redwoods, you know. And of course, I had this great editor. I said, hey, we're going to do this terrific superliminal program called, you know, Cosmic Initiation. But if you go to the light party, if you go to artainment.com, we have 600 plus whatever, most beautiful music and sacred joy. And what we've done is we've really created a whole new art form, which I call the next step in entertainment. And the point is you watch these videos just from a level of art, it's very beautiful, but they have profound activations because it's all rooted in the sacred geometry. So it expands your mind. And we use the diamond over and over and over again, because the diamond on the tree is the heart chakra, but the power of the diamond is the power of discrimination, which means knowing, because we all are making infinite number of choices every moment. And that's our whole life is predicated on the collective choices, individual and collectively, that create our experience. This, not that, this, not that, this, not that. So if you're getting aligned with the diamond mind, then you're always going to make input, because you're no longer making the decisions. It's your true inner self that's guiding you in the right direction. And that's what the diamond that I put in all the videos is, that people come into the wisdom of knowing what to do next. So you're not like scratching your head trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And you just know because you're guided. And that's what we're all looking for. The guidance is so critical, particularly in a time of information overload.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, my heart is smiling as you're sharing this, because of course, 2020 is a year of the 4 plus the double infinite, and it is the diamond. And of course, when you look in the middle of what I love about a diamond is that it's the equolateral cross with the still
girl's
center.
best friend, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. But what's so lovely about that the diamond energy is that it is almost a focus into the still point, into the still center, when we can call that perfect balance in, because we create that diamond when we have that beautiful balance.
The diamond is the perfection of the mineral kingdom, and humanity is being perfected.
Exactly.
We're in the fire, and of course the dross of the conditioning is burning away, and then what is going to be left is this beautiful humanity of incredible beauty and super consciousness. But the outcome for what Earth is going to give to the whole universe is the energy of compassion, And that's the thing we're learning on this planet. It's such a heavy, is compassion. And that's
Well,
the gateway. That's the gateway, compassion and forgiveness, right?
oh, absolutely, because compassion is how you know you're in the fifth dimension. You know, when we are able to all anchor compassion, that's when we know the fifth dimensional anchorship will be very completed. Because if you are living in that energy of compassion, which of course forgiveness is a big process or big piece of that, that's the gateway. That is the fifth dimension. That's when you know you're there, because from there we lift into that seventh dimensional non-judgmental ascension consciousness. And yet compassion is the foundation. It's the moment where we become the witness of the witness. It's the moment where we can gaze at our third dimensional experience with that detached moment, right? Yeah, exactly.
See that the Christ of the golden age is, it's Buddha Christ, which is compassion,
Yes.
and very important, detachment.
Right. Absolutely. No, that is one of the greater wisdoms, because so often as we're growing, as we're moving through our own pyramid of spiritual awakening, through our own spiritual mastery and learning our own discernment, it's often that not only is it the attachment that limits us, but it's our attachment to the attachment.
Mm.
It's that hook, it's that addiction that keeps you in. And so it's again about lifting, right? It's about lifting above that. It's about going into the compassionate state where you can love the being that's attached to the attachment, to the moment of melting that energy. And so, yeah, it's absolutely where we are. It's absolutely the ascension moment before us. And 2020, and this is why I'm loving that you brought this up. 2020 is one of those rare opportunities where every being that wants to will have an opportunity to really manifest in incredible bounty that dream, that blessing, that creation. So thank you for bringing that before us again.
Yeah, I have a CD. I got lots of stuff. One of it's called "Letting Go into Bliss," and
Nice.
because that's the key. I mean, life is really all about letting go. I mean, it's because the universe is being created and destroyed in every moment. You know, it's not solid. I mean, it's a tremendous, phenomenal story of creation, and it's happening, and it's happening so fast. You know, we don't really understand. So it's like what you see, what was true now, and there's where paradox comes in. It's not what you thought was true. You realize it's not true. Or it's three things, and this is what you have to, if you want to discern. Something can be not true, partially true, or true. So that's how you navigate. You know, you have to work with your discernment. Partially true. Well, it's partially true because this leads to all the political debates that are going on.
Well, you know, I noticed my breath as you said that. I was noticing my breath got heavy. It was like, yeah, because it almost got like a tightening as you were saying that, because I was immediately connecting with exactly where you're going right now. That even when you were sharing the words about, you know, the three aspects of truth, fascinating the way it's trying to choke us at one level. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that, because I was really
that's where the mind comes in, and the mind is, you know, it can create all kinds of, you know, tremendous amount of suffering, because if we're a left brain society, you know, we're very much left brain. We're trying to figure it all out.
Right.
The reality is we really don't have the bigger picture, but you do. I mean, in the sense that what we can offer is that it's an inexorable movement towards freedom and liberation. That's my truth. I know that that's where it's going, and we're in this amazing process, and everybody's having their own unique, but there's an overriding intelligence and love and the Godhead that's empowering. In other words, the universe has its own agenda. As I always say, people have their own agenda, but the universe has its own agenda. And you go, what? Either you're a nihilist, or you're a existentialist, or you're an agnostic, which is all fine, but is there intent in the universe? Is there a purpose to the universe? Well, for a lot of people, it seems to be completely, you know, absurd, ridiculous, all this pain and suffering, but there's this overriding super empowerment that's going on to raise everything up into that state of pure love and wisdom and power. But love but here's something I want to share. This is an amazing thing that the physicists have discovered. You heard about the thing called the Great Attractor?
The Great Attractor, share.
You know about the Great Attractor? Well, the scientists, the astrophysicists, there's something out there that's attracting our solar system towards it. And I just got the latest story on it. So here it is. This is like talking about mind blowing. Okay.
Okay, go for it.
So they found out that our solar system is traveling towards this thing called, which is on the other side of the universe, supposedly, at the speed of 1 million miles an hour, some fantastic speed that our so. And then they found out, they quantified what the great attractor is. It's a composite of energy that they say is 1,000 trillion suns. And that's
wow, that's mind-boggling. Like you can't even wrap around that. Wow. Wow.
So,
yeah.
So that gives you a perspective. There's something really big going on in the universe, and that's where we need to take, a big piece of humble pie. So
Agreed.
there's a part of us that really knows, and there's a part of us like, what do I really know? So we have to, what we know is here and now, and have faith and trust that there's an incredible cosmic drama that's unfolding, but is leading towards an inexorable good.
Right.
And we're coming, as we're coming out of the Kali Yuga cycle and transiting into Sach Yuga. So we're in this transition period, right?
Very much so. Very much so. And forgive my dogs.
So that's important. It's important to have that perspective, because a lot of people are like, they look out in the world and they go, it's going to hell in a handbasket, and nobody really knows what's really going on and what to do about it and all this kind of stuff. And so people like, where's the leadership? Where's the awareness? I mean, I can go into the whole thing about global warming, and there's a lot of fallacies about all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was just talking to a good friend about it, talking about wanting to decarbonize the planet, which is an absurdity, because CO2 is what grows plants. So they want to
So
stop.
David, I'm gonna have to stop you there, because we have 1 minute left.
Oh.
I don't know how this show goes that fast, but that tells me we're gonna have to continue this conversation. You're gonna have to come back. I'll get you back on the show, because there's definitely so much more to talk about. But I just want to share that before we would go, for all of you that have been listening, really do yourself a favor and go check out the Light Party. It's thelightparty.com. Did I get that right?
Lightparty.com.
Yeah, go check it out.
That's the granddaddy of it all. And within that is Alcatraz, and in that is our team. It's a 7-point platform. Number one, I'm running my whole campaign on the strength of our nation is directly proportional to the health of our people. Healthy soil creates healthy plants create healthy people. It's axiomatic. And then another one on Project Light is all the power that ever was or will be is here now. We have that information to liberate this planet energetically, psychologically, and spiritually.
And so it is. And thank you for being with us. We are so grateful you were here. And thank you to all of you for supporting us. Hey, I know those phone lines are really full. Call back next week. Make sure you check in with Shri and I Saturday right here at TFR Live on Explore the Mysteries at 1 p.m. Pacific time, or over at onenesstalkradio.com. David, thank you again. And to all of you out there, we love you. Namaste. Have a beautiful week, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.